Tom Radulovich. I'm president of the BART Board of Directors. With me is Vice President Joel Keller, Director Rebecca Saltzman, and Director Robert Rayburn. We have been in this building, as have all of you, so thank you, since Sunday night, working to try and get an agreement. On Sunday, we put forward a comprehensive proposal. That proposal included a 12% wage increase over the 4 years, as well as preserving what we feel is the best benefit package in the country. The union said no to us on that, but we stuck out here. We've been here trying to negotiate. We know that we had to show some flexibility and have done on two main things. One is economics. We're willing to put more money on the table to get a deal that makes sense for the district over the next 4 years and for the years after that. The other thing where we showed flexibility was on a package of work rules that we really need. Work rules sound obscure, but work rules really mean, do we have control and can we make decisions as a district about staffing, about overtime, about job assignments, about scheduling and technology. So anybody out there at work imagining that managers had no control over those things can imagine it becomes a very difficult prospect to manage a district or to manage it effectively, because these work rules create waste, they create inefficiency, and have an impact on our riders. We were here discussing those things. We thought we were making good movement on an economic package as part of a comprehensive package. We also thought as part of a comprehensive package we were making and had actually signed off on a few agreements on the work rules. I think we were very surprised today when the unions walked out and said that they weren't going to talk to us anymore and delivered an ultimatum. So we're here to say that we want to keep this process going. We need to get an agreement with our unions. Going on strike is not acceptable. Walking away from the table for a comprehensive agreement is not acceptable. We've got a few options here tonight. One option, and we put this forward on Sunday, we put an excellent package out on Sunday. They could actually take that to their members and have their members vote. It's our call again to have a vote. It is the 17th of October tonight. There hasn't been one member vote on any package that we offer. We believe we put forward an excellent package. We'd like them to vote on it before they just reject it summarily. Another option is come back to this building. We are here to talk and continue negotiations for as long as it takes. With that, I haven't got any more to say. But,
what about arbitration?
Arbitration is an option. The offer that we had tonight is, well, we want all the parts that we want, and then we'll arbitrate the parts we don't want. I think, which is unacceptable. I think a proposal that would look at the two last packages that we provided and send both of those to arbitration is one that we'd love to discuss with them if they're willing to discuss it with us.
Well, why didn't you put that out there then?
Pardon me?
I mean, it doesn't just have to come from the union. Why didn't you put that out there?
We haven't had a chance to put it out there because they gave us an ultimatum and walked away. No one's talking right now.
And is there a plan for later on in the evening to have another meeting?
We're here.
How long will you be here? I mean, are you going to be here through the night?
We'll be here as long as it takes.
Have you notified them that you're available to do this?
Yeah, they know we're here.
And why not call back the federal mediator then?
The federal mediators are here too, and if they say, let's get back together, we're here waiting with them, and we can...
Responded to your openness.
Pardon me?
Have the unions responded?
Not yet. Not yet.
And when did you contact them?
I don't remember. A while ago, yeah.
So you made this offer to the news media about these two objects
Yeah,
for
yeah.
arbitration. Is anybody picking up the phone and saying, do you want to talk about this?
We're going to get on the phone again and say, yeah, come back.
So let me make absolutely clear. Mr. Cohen is still here and available to negotiate.
I don't know if he's physically here, but he has not left town.
So the work rules would keep you, the management, from having full control of BART and making it run smoothly in the future?
Exactly. One way to think about it is I believe we've offered our unions the best wage and benefit package in the country, but unfortunately we're saddled with one of the worst sets of work rules in the country, which create a terrific amount of inefficiency. We need to correct that.
Can you give us a quick example about the scheduling or the overtime that's holding you up?
Sure, I've got a whole list here, so I can go through a few of them. One of them, for example, is if you say to a worker, well, you can leave early, 15 minutes early on whenever, then everybody in that unit will get that right. We've given away the ability to schedule certain positions because we let the union schedule those, or some manager had let the union schedule those at some point. The famous example is the paycheck stubs. We have workers who fax things instead of email them because we can't ask them to update the technology. There's a whole host of them. And those are the things we need to address in this contract. I mean, anybody, you think about your own job, if you just said, no, I want to do everything exactly the way I did it in 1972, well, you probably wouldn't have a job. But unfortunately, here at BART, a lot of those practices can stick around. This isn't really a hardship on workers. I mean, all of us are dealing with new technology. All of us have to be flexible and reinvent the way that we do work. But unfortunately, BART, that becomes an issue where the unions just have absolute veto power. If we ask them to do things in a new way, they can say no, and that's absolutely the end of it. Until they agree, we've just lost control of those matters.
But they look at it as if they want to know, they don't want to be going to one location one day, at one location another, third location another, at different hours of the day, and they say your proposal would give them that opportunity, going from here for the union to here for management.
What we're asking for is what every other transit agency in this state has. If it was an incredible hardship, then I think everybody else who works in every public agency would be horribly oppressed. But what we want to go is just go to the norms of government agencies. We're not asking for anything extreme or anything unusual.
Is there a possibility there will be no strike tomorrow morning?
There's a possibility. It is not up to us, however. You know, we've made the appeal here tonight in front of you. We're going to keep making it to them. But these strike threats that have been coming like clockwork, unfortunately, that's not up to us. That's a game of brinksmanship on the unions. We don't feel that that's fair to riders. We don't feel it's fair to their workers.
Are you still holding tight to that $57 million package?
That is negotiable.
That is negotiable.
Yeah, that's actually what we've been talking about here. As I mentioned, there's room to move on financials. And there's been room to move on work rules. We want an agreement that works for everyone. We've been entertaining proposals, some from our own side, some from the unions actually, about how to save money. And we'd like to include any of those that have come forward. We've seen some real creativity on some of those. And those could be part of a comprehensive agreement. But I think our look is a long look. We'd be willing to pay more in the next 4 years for things that will pay dividends not only in these 4 years, but after. And I think that's the main thing. We just need an agreement that works well for our workers, which we think we've got, and for the district over the next 4 years and beyond.
So
Just to
curiosity.
follow up on that.
It's negotiable, but it's contingent on the work. Is that what you're saying?
Both, we're negotiating both, yeah. But we need progress on both, and it needs to be a comprehensive proposal. So if we give a lot on wages, we want them to meet us on work rules. Correct. It has to be a comprehensive package, right? I mean, I think what they would like is, yeah, we'll take whatever money you have to offer and we won't talk to you on work rules, which is what we heard today. But that's not an acceptable way to negotiate.
So
You
Tom,
have
there's
a
three
One of the
options.
things
You
that
can go
they-
to the table, go back to the table.
You can come back to the table tonight?
Or you can do an arbitrator looking at which two, hold on.
We can discuss looking at the complete proposals and sending both of those to an arbitrator. Pardon me? The last two, right. So we have one from Sunday, they have one from today.
That has been discussed with them.
Yeah,
The board would have to discuss
We would have to
that.
discuss that as a board, but we're willing to discuss that with them. And I should be clear, my colleagues have corrected me. The board would need to decide we're going to throw all this to arbitration, but we're willing to discuss it if they're willing to discuss it with us.
How long will it take for the board to make that call?
The board, there's a requirement under the Brown Act that we need 24 hours to meet.
Do you have agreements on salary, and both of the benefits? Those been reached?
No, they haven't been reached because we don't have a comprehensive agreement. Yeah.
When you say it's negotiable, we haven't heard that before. We haven't heard last best final. With
Yeah.
$57 million framework is
Right.
negotiable. Are you
Right.
saying that amount is negotiable?
Yeah, I think if we can realize savings from some of these changes that actually pay dividends that we hadn't calculated as part of the 57, And then we're willing to look at benefits beyond the 4 years that, yeah, we think we can make that work. We think we can sustain it financially, and we think it would be a good way to end this.
But you need the changes to give the wage and benefit package.
Exactly. What we don't want to do is just, keep putting more on the table and not really see any movement on the other side.
Is there any change in what you put down today? Is it still wiggle room from what you put down this afternoon?
We didn't put anything down this afternoon. We weren't asked to put, our last proposal came on Sunday. So yeah, that's what we've been here discussing since Sunday is there room to move within the proposal that we offered, and we're still willing to have those discussions. We thought they were going well.
You talked about two packages. One from Sunday. What's the other one?
The other was the union's package from today. Yeah.
And one of the things when you talk about work rules
Yeah.
and all of these changes that I'm hearing from these members,
Yeah.
I'd like you to comment on this, is that they say that would detract from their seniority and their ability within the union to have seniority on these issues. What do you say to people who are concerned about that?
We can talk about seniority. I mean, the main thing is we just need to be able to manage the district. Lots of public agencies have seniority and all of those sorts of things in bidding. We just have an extreme example of, we're not able to manage, and in some cases the workers aren't able to effectively work. So we can make it work. We just need them to talk to us about it.
So on seniority, you would be flexible.
Seniority is not a reason for a strike.
Yeah. It's not. My colleague says it's not a good reason for a strike. But we're willing. We're willing to see if that could. Meaning, we wouldn't go to strike over seniority. It's really about the ability to do the work of the district efficiently and effectively, and to deliver value for money for the riders. We're spending the riders' money, and I think one thing that's really, really important to know here is we have a 70% fare box recovery ratio. And in plain English, that means out of every dollar we spend in our operating budget, 70 cents of that comes from the riders. We have an obligation to them to really do the best job that we can and to work efficiently and effectively. We think we can do that and pay fantastically good wages and deliver fantastically good benefits. But we can't do both. We can't have this incredibly good pay and benefit package and then still have to labor under work rules that end up really crippling our ability to manage well and costing a lot of money for the riders.
So changing the work rules leads to cost savings. You will take some of those cost savings to beef up the benefit salary.
Exactly.
That's
Yes.
in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell. If we can secure these, we think there's benefits in these 4 years of the contract, which is what the term is, but also beyond. And that's why we're really interested in talking with them about it. And that's why we're not so interested in an offer where it's just we'll take more money, but we won't even talk to you about these work rules.
If there's a strike and it goes on for a while,
Yeah.
is there still a scenario where managers who are certified to operate trains can do that and you might train?
We'll have to cross that bridge. It would need to be a board decision to do that.
But tomorrow, no plan for that.
Tomorrow, there's no plan for that. There will not be trains running tomorrow if there's a strike. Yeah.
You've been living with these work rules for a while now, I assume.
Yes.
Why is now important to have them changed?
It's always been important. Every 4 years, I've been on the board for a while, we've tried to make progress on these. Back in 2009, we capped it. We just said no new ones. So what we want to do, though, is be able to go back to that huge accumulation of past practices and work rules from 2009 back to the days that BART started, the 70s, and be able to say which of these don't make sense anymore and have a way to get rid of the ones that really are just getting in the way of our being able to do the job for the riders that we want to do.
Josie Mooney mentioned one of the work rules is that workers don't want to be told, okay, you're working in Hayward this day,
Yeah.
you're working in Daly City the next day, you're working a night shift here, then a quick turnaround in the morning. Why not give on that and for the employees who don't want to work in 18 different locations and be held to whatever whim BART might come up with?
Well, because the way it works now is sometimes you'll go to a central location and you'll bid, so you don't ever know where you're going from night to night anyway. So that'll get sorted out, but you waste a few hours figuring it out. So you might have to report to this location or that, but the bidding process, which is one of the work rules we'd love to see fixed, actually means that we lose at least an hour, maybe 2 hours of worker time, and everyone still goes out to another location. A disadvantage of that is a safety one. If you were working on a project, let's say a track, working with Third Rail, and you did part of it one night, and then through the bidding, you don't end up on that job, somebody else does the next night, that's dangerous, because the person that gets tossed out on that job the next night has to figure out what the person the next day did. So for continuity's sake, sometimes it's important to be able to assign somebody to just finish a job if you have to do it in 2 work windows. We've lost the ability to do that through these work rules that we have. Yeah. Pardon me? The strike contingency plan? Sorry.
Not the strike, just in terms of the package, the pay package is contingent on work.
Yeah.
So some people would look at after the calculations, it's a lot.
Well, the good news about the work rules is it doesn't affect your take-home pay. If we can reform work rules, we can offer more and better service to riders and offer the same pay and benefits to workers, because the work rules that we're going after are just waste. Nobody's benefiting from them right now.
What about sick time, 40-hour work week?
Sick time, reform of the 40-hour work week was one where we thought we'd got to.
Sick time, they couldn't get overtime a week until sick.
Yeah, that was one where we thought we'd got resolution, yeah, before they walked out, unsadly.
So if a strike happens tomorrow, will you still be ready to negotiate and standing by to negotiate?
Yeah, we have to. We have to get to an agreement. Strike or not, the only way to end this is with an agreement. We've given them a few options to striking. One is come back here and keep talking through this negotiating process. We've also given them what we think is a really good offer. Take that back to your members, as AC Transit unions have twice done before striking. Another option would be come back and talk to us about an arbitration. But there's no need for them to strike. We think it's a terrible idea for their workers. We think it's a terrible idea for the riders and for the people of the Bay Area, because we've got alternatives.
Tom, what the mediator said that there was no need for them to be here anymore. There's nothing left to mediate.
Yeah.
So with option 1, let's come back and talk.
Yeah.
If the top federal mediator in the country says there's nothing to talk about because everybody's dug in, what's changed?
Pardon me?
What's changed?
We didn't walk away. We're still here to talk about it. And now if they've concluded the unions have walked away, that would take that option off the table. I hope that's not true. I've been getting emails and tweets for days, staged from the that have been organized by the mediators, or by the unions, sorry, and they're saying respect the mediating process, keep working with the mediators. It would be real bad faith for them to walk away now, because they've been telling everybody, and they've been telling everybody to tell me that that's what they're doing and that they're committed to this process. So if that's true, then they need to come back here and finish the job that they started.
Surely there are transportation models around the country where both sides are happy. Are we bringing those to the table and saying, look at these rules? New York's happy, DC's happy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one of the things we could do is on the past practices, we could go to any other transit agency and get a better set of past practices than what we have. In a lot of these areas, we're a real outlier, and what we're trying to do is move to industry norm. From a position that's really pretty bad and pretty wasteful on these rules. So yeah, there's a lot of agencies where the workers are happy and where management's happy that have got work rules that we could borrow, and that's where we're trying to move to.
So why would BART not pick up the phone tonight, call the union and say, come on back, let's start talking?
We'll do that.
Have you?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah. Pardon me? If there's a strike tonight, buses will run tomorrow. I'm not the expert on that, unfortunately, but I can get the people to talk. Yeah.
It's at the very beginning of the union and said, come back at the beginning of make that call.
Yeah. We'll make it again if it's not clear to them. I'm making it here on camera. I'll make it again. Yeah. 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 Pardon me? That we're here to talk if they want to talk to us.
Tom, what are you willing to arbitrate?
Pardon me? What are you willing to arbitrate?
As I said, we'd have to discuss arbitration, but just speaking as one director, we have, we'd look at a process that's like other arbitration processes where you take whole packages, give those to an arbitrator. What we don't want is, well, we'll take all the parts we like out of your package or out of our package and then put all the ones that we don't like or uncomfortable with to an arbitration. That really disadvantages one party. It's not an honest way to arbitrate. I've never heard, frankly, of an arbitration being proposed that way. It's always looking at the two total packages. And that's the arbitration that we'd like to talk to them about, if they're willing to consider it.
And of course, the board has to meet first.
Yeah,
before we
right. Yeah.
talk about
Yeah,
arbitration.
yeah.
This will be binding arbitration, right? They call it interest arbitration, but it's binding.
We could agree to binding interest arbitration. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
What director?
Yeah. Okay. Again, I have to keep saying the board have not formally discussed this. We would need to decide as a board that we could do this, but we are willing to discuss how that would look and make that decision if that's something they want to talk to us about.
How long will that take?
It would need to be a total package.
How long will that take?
Pardon me?
Tonight? You do it tonight? You're running in the
Well, we can't arbitrate tonight. We couldn't even decide to arbitrate tonight.
talk about saying, hey, come back and talk. Let's see if we can talk about it.
Oh yeah, we can talk to them tonight. We're here.
How long will it take for the board members to be here?
Like I said, to get a full board meeting would take at least 24 hours. But we can, we can discuss something and then take that to the board as soon as we can take it to the board. We don't need to have a board meeting to resume mediated talks here.
The union said salary, pension, medical, all were agreed upon. It's just these work rules. Is that something where you would offer something and they were okay with that, but then in response, in return, you wanted work rules and they weren't okay with that?
Yeah, what we were discussing was total package. So what we were trying to do was say, all right, well, looking at a total package, what's a total package of wages, work rules, and benefits, and how might that look? So we were willing to discuss, and I think we'd, reach some common ground with them on salary. But on work rules, they were just sort of refusing to budge. We did give up some of the work rules as well. We've either, sort of softened them or gave up on them altogether. But there's some that we really feel like we need to get out of this negotiation, and unfortunately, they weren't willing to negotiate those.